Looks like we're going to the general, ladies and gentlemen.
When I get to the Senate, I'll always put you people before party politics.
And for races as far and wide as City Council to the White House, voters did their duty, laying the groundwork for November's general election.
Thank you for staying with us this morning. I'm Bria Love. Votes continue to be counted for several local races as we continue our election coverage.
Welcome back. I'm Walt Gray. One of the bigger results was the candidate set to face off in November to fill the late Senator Dianne Feinstein seat.
Let's take a look here. Democrat Adam Schiff and Republican Steve Garvey will face off for California's Senate seat. Garvey is a former Major League Baseball player, and Schiff is well known for leading impeachment efforts against former President Donald Trump. Schiff beat out the other two top Democrats running for that seat. That's Katie Porter and Barbara Lee.
More numbers in this morning. You're looking live at the current results for Sacramento's City Council District 2. And right now you can see former state lawmaker Roger Dickinson holds a very large lead in this race over Stephen Walton. Kim Davey, Veronica Smith rounding it out. This is the seat left open after Sean Laloe resigned. Laloe was indicted on fraud and conspiracy charges, a connection to his Viva supermarket last year.
So any one of those candidates there needed 50% of the votes to win and avoid a runoff in November. Well, ABC 10's Jeannie Nguyen spoke to them as they waited for the results to come in.
We are here along one of the main arteries of District 2 along Del Paso Boulevard as the city council candidates are checking the incoming poll results. Now stay tuned to see how some of those candidates are feeling as those results come in.
With smiles and laughter, Sacramento City Council District 2 candidate Kim Davey was fully confident as she was surrounded by her best friends and supporters at her watch party.
I'm feeling pretty confident, so we'll just see. I want to be humble, though. So we'll see what happens.
The same confidence could be felt over at Ramona Landeros' watch party as well, who says winning isn't just about the numbers in the polls.
Win will be defined by inspiring another generation of students, of youth, of community who never would have been involved in the elections.
Candidate Penelope Larry was also full of emotions and positivity as she was surrounded by her family and close friends at her watch party. Regardless of the results, she says she's dedicated to this district.
I think that whoever gets in needs to have me on their team. I'm just that dynamic, and they need somebody like me on their team.
Roger Dickinson is feeling hopeful for the future as he continues to lead in this race.
It's gratifying because we've run a very active campaign. It's a rainbow of support across this district, across everybody from all backgrounds, all neighborhoods in this district.
That was Jeannie Nguyen reporting 6:30, and Sacramento's mayoral race is going to be a close call in the days ahead. You can see here on your screen 6 candidates eyeing that seat, and they're all pretty close there. Dr. Richard Penn, 25%, Steve Hansen, 24%, so very close behind everyone else as well.
Stockton voters choosing a new mayor as well. San Joaquin County Supervisor Tom Patty has a comfortable lead right now. In the lead to take over for current Mayor Kevin Lincoln. Behind him is Stockton Unified School District Administrator Christina Fugazi. She's also a former member of the Stockton City Council. Those two likely heading to November.
Stockton Mayor Kevin Lincoln threw his hat in the ring to challenge Democrat Josh Harder's congressional seat. Right now, it looks like that risk could be paying off. Josh Harder at 51%, Kevin Lincoln at 29% right now.
Be Lincoln and Harder in November. And yesterday, we talked about what we might expect from this primary election, and the voter turnout projections were awful. Political commentator Steve Schwartz is back with us. Good morning, my good man. You were up late. I know I got your latest email at 10:24 last night, so I know you were up watching everything. So polls closed a little more than 10 hours ago. Vote counting is going to go on maybe till April 5th. So is there anything that you saw last night that stands out to you that may be an indicator of what's to come?
Well, I think I have a few takeaways this morning. One, as you mentioned, is the voter apathy, which still amazes me. I mean, it makes you sort of nostalgic for the 1970s when 94, 95, 96% of the voters actually voted in person, and the voter turnout was like 70, 72% in many of these elections. And now we're seeing it is so easy to vote by mail, and yet people certainly aren't doing that. It's like the Republicans are saying, well, this is a blue state, so my vote won't count very much. And the Democrats are saying, well, this is a blue state, so that Democrats don't need my vote. So that's one thing that stands out. Two, you have to really talk about the presidential election in California was a little different than some of the other states. Both Trump and Biden won really big here, although I can't figure out why Biden lost American Samoa by 11 votes. Three is that the Republicans avoided a major embarrassment by getting Steve Garvey at least into the runoff for the U.S. Senate. And the polls leading up to the race, had it much closer than it turned out in California. So that was good for the Republicans, although, of course, Adam Schiff will be heavily favored in November. But speaking of potential embarrassments, look at Proposition 1. That was Governor Newsom's pet project. Yeah. That's the bond issue that deals with homelessness and mental health. He raised $27 million for this campaign, and the opponents raised $1,000. And now it's virtually a dead heat.
So other candidates, you touched a little bit on nationally, Trump and Biden, and it just seems like a lot of people feeling here we go again with those two. What's your take on someone who may pull from those two, Robert Kennedy Jr.? Anything going on with him?
Well, it's not just Kennedy. It's also Cornel West, liberal activist, and Jill Stein of the Green Party. And, it's entirely possible. I mean, they will take votes. West and Green and Stein will take votes from Biden. And in very, close states, a number of states, that could make a difference. As for Kennedy, he basically will siphon votes, I think, from both Biden and Trump. I mean, he comes from a well-known Democratic family, the Kennedys, of course, but some of his views, like on the Ukraine aid and vaccines and guns, are more in line with Republicans. And so some of the Republicans will vote for him, too. So how that shakes out will make a big difference in many states, I think.
One thing I wanted to ask you about was we have Josh Harder in the Southern District and Kevin Lincoln, the outgoing mayor of Stockton. If Kevin Lincoln can garner all the Republicans on the down ballot to vote for him, do you see a bigger Republican? Will they turn out in November for Steve Garvey or for Kevin Lincoln?
Yeah, I mean, I think November should see a better turnout. It's always much better in the fall because you have, clear distinctions, much more at stake. And so that should be a pretty good race. I mean, it was a close race last time. And if you add up all the votes in that district,
right.
Josh Harder has 51.2% right now, which means the other Republicans combined are at 49?
Yes.
Or 48 plus
close
percent. So if they turn out, it could be pretty close.
Yeah. Okay. That is Steve Schwartz. Steve, thank you. We will see Steve back here live in studio at 11 o'clock as we continue to look at what's coming in and Steve's reaction to it. Bria?